invaded Ukraine. What's the outcome? We don't know yet. Russia couldn't accomplish its goal of regime change, but it did annex a few parts of Ukraine. The prolonged war has put a strain on both countries' weapons supplies. While the Western nations have been pumping weapons into Ukraine, Russia for a long time relied on its own inventory. Later reports came out that Iran started supplying its drones to the Russian forces. Amid all this, there is one news that is circulating on the internet platforms. What is that? Russia is using T-90S Bhishma tanks in the Ukraine war. What are these? How is this related to India? Did Raisina Hill react to this? Let's look into it now. First, T-90 is the third generation main battle tank of Russia. It is one of the main defense export weapons for the Russian defense industry. Several countries like Armenia, Azerbaijan, Iraq, Syria, Algeria, and many more are using this tank. India is also one of them. But India has given its own name, which is a tradition it has been following for many foreign weapons. Let's take K9 as an example. The South Korean self-propelled artillery is being used by Indian Army for some time now. It has been named K9 Vajra. In a similar manner, India has named the Russian T-90 tank as T-90S Bhishma. Now reports are emerging that Russia is using these tanks in its attack against Ukraine. There are conflicting reports though. While some say Russia is using tanks which are supposed to be exported to India, others say India sent these tanks to Russia for upgrades. But Russia is using them in Ukraine war with India's permission. Could it be true? Yes, India uses T-90 tanks. But no, they are not imported from Russia. It is being manufactured in India. Russia signed a technology of transfer contract with India to manufacture T-90 tanks in India. For this, Russians are being paid a whopping $1.2 billion. In 2019, India announced that it would manufacture 464 Bhishma tanks as per the agreement between the two nations. India is not just manufacturing these T-90 tanks, but making several modifications as per Indian Army's requirement. For example, while the normal T-90 is equipped with Stora 1, Bhishma is equipped with Sweden's Saab LEDS 150. This is land electronic defense system to counter threats against armored vehicles. India is also having an indigenously built thermal imager, which helps the tanks to operate at night time. Before this, it used France Thales-built Catherine FC thermal imager. Indian Bhishma tanks also have an enhanced environmental control system for providing cool air to the fighting compartment. It is supplied by Israel's Kinetic Limited. Under the Make in India initiative, several components required for T-90 Bhishma tanks are being manufactured in India. As for the tank, it is being manufactured at Heavy Vehicles Factory in Tamil Nadu's Avadi. After the technology of transfer agreement between India and Russia, approximately 80% of T-90 Bhishma tanks is being locally manufactured in India. So the report circulating that Russia is using T-90 Bhishma tanks in its war with Ukraine is false. Ever since Russia started its operation in Ukraine, several Western nations have been hell-bent on forcing India to join the Western nations in imposing sanctions. But India didn't succumb to Western pressure. It instead increased its oil purchase from Russia. This has irked the West and they started to project India in a bad light. We have seen how several Western leaders and media publications launched a systematic attack on India. This could be one of those tactics by some groups who have vested interests. Look at this account. This is a Twitter account with the name Pakistan Strategic Forum. This account is trying to carry the same propaganda of Russia using Bhishma attacks. Another popular media outlet, Euromaidan Press, has also tweeted a video saying Russia is using tanks which are meant to be exported to India. Apart from these two, there are several Twitter handles that are posting similar news. Although this kind of news is circulating since October, it has steadily started to take steam this month. There hasn't been any major response neither from the West nor India. If the West tries to peddle this propaganda against India, rest assured, the latter will effectively counter the propaganda.
Please subscribe to Nationalist Hub English channel for more interesting videos, and don't forget to like and share this video. Nationalist Hub, it's a news revolution.